Abundance. If you enjoy this book, you will be very interested in the following. freemakemonleybooks.com. Watch these free online videos and discover the revealing and surprising answers to your burning law of attraction questions. Remember to visit our website for more free books. Enjoy your book. freemakemonleybooks.com. You may freely distribute or sell this ebook. Chapter 1, About Wealth, Mantras and Affirmations. The basics. Easily give up that which you no longer need or will not utilize. Donate older clothes and decorations, place older food in the compost bin, and give away food that you recognize you will never consume. This will make room for the fresh stuff and remind you that it's simple to relinquish because you have trust that more will always show up in perfect timing and in complete ways. See increase. If you go to the ATM and place cash in your billfold, see your wallet busting at the seams and your bank balance moving up and up and up. If you open your wardrobe, notice all your amazing clothes and understand in your heart that you'll continually discover and get even more amazing pieces at the perfect times and in complete ways. If you have a free minute to unwind, think of all the space and time in your calendar that will beyond any doubt open up for you in the coming weeks and months. Get into the habit of anticipating abundance, and give thanks for it as though it is already there. More abundant wealth is getting produced right now than any other time during the past 20 years. Hopefully you're among the chosen few who draws in wealth easily. If not, you may alter that. It's all about your mentality. Here are some techniques for drawing in abundant wealth beginning now. Use this info along with the following info in this book. Quit making rationalizations. Few people are attracted to whiners, complainers, excuse makers, or wimps. Dan Kennedy, period. Next time you're late for something, hopefully you never are, take care with your excuse or it will be simply that, an excuse. Failures are abundant wealthy with rationalizations. An abundance of excuses ensures a lack of cash and success. The habit of making excuses is the most dreadful of all habits. Woefully, frequently we don't even realize what's coming out of our mouth is an excuse. Quit this right away, quit making excuses. Become someone, be a famous someone. Like it or not, we live in a fame-obsessed culture, a celebrity-driven market. A famous person inside your own business sphere, your own marketplace. Be an expert someone. Expert status is really magnetic. As luck would have it, it's a self-created, self-manufactured asset. You may become a world-class authority in most fields merely by poring over every available resource for 60 minutes a day for merely a year. Everybody prefers working with an authority. Experts encounter less fee or price resistance, and may even ask for premium pricing. Be someplace in the middle of one of his bluest periods. If news media was filled with narratives of his financial demise, Donald Trump talks of feeling like simply remaining hidden at home. However, rather put on his big boy pants and went to a crucial gala affair, because he recognized he couldn't gain by remaining at home. As a matter of fact, he was right. He made one of the most crucial contacts of his life story. So next time you discover yourself passing over that next convention or deal making, as it will be less nerve-wracking, less embarrassing, in a few instances. Go. Great, productive, fruitful things may happen. Abundant wealth won't find you if you're at home slouching on the couch or hiding in the bedroom. Get out, see the individuals, see the opportunities, be visible. Particularly today if your rivalry is likely not to be there. Get something done, be in action each day. Motion over each is meditation. If you like reading rags to riches stories, you'll discover that most entrepreneurs finally hit excellent success because they merely got into motion, frequently before they were ready. The reason is a lot of the way to attract abundant wealth and opportunity is simple: get moving. The act of taking action is in and of itself draws in opportunity and abundant riches. Most pros stop selling themselves while they're delivering, so they have lean spell, and the crazy ups and downs. Formulate the habit of doing at least one thing to attract business each day. regardless what follow through. A lot of individuals begin, few follow through. Doing this well calls for a true shift in your thinking. To accomplish this well, you have to build and maintain a hearty fence around, care for, coddle, formulate a firm relationship with, and multiply through referrals. Now that you're finished with this part, make a list of what you have to be doing and accomplish it. May chanting mantras make you rich or successful? This is among the questions which lots of logicians, alleged educated intellectuals, media and a lot more seem to make fun of. This section will show you why cash talks and BS walks. There are as a lot of methods as there are gurus who teach the correct way to utilize mantras. However, the truth is, after the costs and time with a lot of gurus, mantra use comes down to a few key concepts. However, above all, keep your mantras simple. There's complete beauty in simplicity. Throughout history, mantras have been compared with prayer, which means the one who tells mantras must give reverence to the higher power. That's what the general population has been led to think. In ancient times, mantras were formulated as a meditative technique of attuning one with the soul, the universal powers. The universal powers are asked to guide, to supply and to deliver the essentials of life. The kings or chiefs anticipate total wealth and more, the peasants anticipate much less. So state the shamans. This is no different than tuning your brain into an alpha and theta vibration to meditate on what you want. The mantras are formulated so that you center on what you want. However, then the insidious ones form words so that the reciter focuses on the advantages to the writers. Religions and cults have been conceived this way. Note, they get what they, as leaders in that fellowship, demand. Some religions tell you to be giving and maintain none for yourself, otherwise you'll be too loaded down to go to heaven. If you're too unbalanced with earthly desires, you'll never get there either. Consequently, get rid of your wealth and there's no holier place than this temple. We hold it all on your behalf. People, having society put all your cash in one place is known as a bank. When you understand this, you recognize that you are able to utilize mantras for yourself first. When was the last time you gave all your things away in the name of religion, your loved ones, or your acquaintances an excellent lifestyle? If you've ever wondered, the really rich comprehend this, and that's what they do. They do likewise utilize mantras as a way of reinforcing their brains and day-to-day thoughts to building their own desires. What is the flip side of being positive? I have so much to accomplish. Is the room too frigid or hot? Did I take out the trash? Oh, I want something tasty to eat. It's rainy and it's depressing. As I do the dishes, for some reason my heart is pounding. Is everything going to be okay? Such a negatively blabbering brain. While those thoughts were happening on, I held on searching for those peaceful feelings, unity, elation, joy, the ever-presence. Rather, I could feel my body being grievous with disordered thoughts coming and going. Alternatively, this is the time to tune inwards and use favorable reinforcements. There are a lot of ways to get into positive thinking and feeling more pleased. A few individuals utilize self-affirmations. Other people might decide to go for walks or sing. Even watching an amusing show helps. Talk to a good friend. All the same, occasionally a powerful session in meditation with a well-developed mantra works like a charm to get you into your frequently desired blissful state for manifesting. Get yourself ready for your mantra. Start by sitting straight up but comfortably. Cross-legged if you are able to, or merely sitting someplace isolated and quiet. You are able to play a short soft musical piece if you need it that will bring your brain into alpha, and the more advanced practitioners will bring their brain waves into theta or yet earth resonance. You recognize that you're in a powerful meditative state. You're now prepared, and the music ought to be stopped, to recite the mantra or affirmation you've developed or gotten from this book. Now let's have a look at inspirational tools to bring wealth into your life. Chapter 2, Wealth Quotes 1. I've been making a list of the things they don't teach you at school. They don't teach you how to love somebody. They don't teach you how to be famous. They don't teach you how to be rich or how to be poor. They don't teach you how to walk away from someone you don't love any longer. They don't teach you how to know what's going on in someone else's mind. They don't teach you what to say to someone who's dying. They don't teach you anything worth knowing. Neil Gaiman, The Sandman, Volume 9, The Kindly Ones to That's why they call it the American Dream, because you have to be asleep to believe it. George Carlin 3 I think the key indicator for wealth is not good grades, work ethic, or IQ. I believe it's relationships. Ask yourself 2 questions, how many people do I know, and how much ransom money could I get for each one? Jared Kintz 4 Everyone wants to ride with you in the limo, but what you want is someone who will take the bus with you when the limo breaks down. Oprah Winfrey 5 Keep your best wishes close to your heart and watch what happens. Tony DeLisso, Legacy, the power within one. Being rich is not about how much money you have or how many homes you own, it's the freedom to buy any book you want without looking at the price and wondering if you can afford it. John Waters, Role models to rich people have small TVs and big libraries, and poor people have small libraries and big TVs. Zig Ziglar 3 Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Epictetus 4 If you've got $1 and you spend 29 cents on a loaf of bread, you've got 71 cents left, but if you've got 17 grand and you spend 29 cents on a loaf of bread, you've still got 17 grand. There's a math lesson for you. Steve Martin 5 Wealth without work. Pleasure without conscience, science without humanity, knowledge without character, politics without principle, commerce without morality, worship without sacrifice. Mahatma Gandhi 6 Don't gain the world and lose your soul, wisdom is better than silver or gold. Bob Marley 1 That same night, I wrote my first short story. It took me 30 minutes. It was a dark little tale about a man who found a magic cup and learned that if he wept into the cup, his tears turned into pearls. But even though he had always been poor, he was a happy man and rarely shed a tear. So he found ways to make himself sad so that his tears could make him rich. As the pearls piled up, so did his greed grow. The story ended with the man sitting on a mountain of pearls, knife in hand, weeping helplessly into the cup with his beloved wife's slain body in his arms. Gail Tossini, The Kite Runner 2 We got so much food in America we're allergic to food. Allergic to food. Hungry people ain't allergic to shit. You think anyone in Rwanda's got a fucking lactose intolerance? Chris Rock 3 Every day is a bank account, and time is our currency. No one is rich, no one is poor. We've got 24 hours each. Christopher Rice 4 Happiness is not in the mere possession of money, it lies in the joy of achievement, in the thrill of creative effort. Franklin D. Roosevelt 5 The test of our progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much, it is whether we provide enough for those who have too little. Franklin D. Roosevelt 1 I'd rather have roses on my table than diamonds on my neck. Emma Goldman 2 I'd like to live as a poor man with lots of money. Pablo Picasso 3 Fortune sides with him who dares. Publius Virgilius Miro 4 I just bought a small condo overlooking the water. The water is in a cup, 1 floor below my unit. Jared Kintz This book has no title. 5 I am opposing a social order in which it is possible for one man who does absolutely nothing that is useful to amass a fortune of hundreds of millions of dollars, while millions of men and women who work all the days of their lives secure barely enough for a wretched existence. Eugene Victor Debs 6 I am grateful for the blessings of wealth, but it hasn't changed who I am. My feet are still on the ground. I'm just wearing better shoes. Oprah Winfrey 7 In a society in which nearly everybody is dominated by somebody else's mind or by a disembodied mind, it becomes increasingly difficult to learn the truth about the activities of governments and corporations, about the quality or value of products, or about the health of one's own place and economy. In such a society, also, our private economies will depend less and less upon the private ownership of real, usable property, and more upon property that is institutional and abstract, beyond individual control, such as money, insurance policies, certificates of deposit, stocks, and shares. And as our private economies become more abstract, the mutual, free helps and pleasures of family and community life will be supplanted by a kind of displaced or placeless citizenship and by commerce with impersonal and self-interested suppliers. Thus, although we are not slaves in name, and cannot be carried to market and sold as somebody else's legal chattels, we are free only within narrow limits. For all our talk about liberation and personal autonomy, there are few choices that we are free to make. What would be the point, for example, if a majority of our people decided to be self-employed? The great enemy of freedom is the alignment of political power with wealth. This alignment destroys the commonwealth, that is, the natural wealth of localities and the local economies of household, neighborhood, and community, and so destroys democracy, of which the commonwealth is the foundation and practical means. Wendell Berry, The Art of the Commonplace, The Agrarian Essays. Although it is very easy to marry a wife, it is very difficult to support her along with the children and the household. Accordingly, no one notices this faith of Jacob. Indeed, many hate fertility in a wife for the sole reason that the offspring must be supported and brought up. For this is what they commonly say: why should I marry a wife when I am a pauper and a beggar? I would rather bear the burden of poverty alone and not load myself with misery and want. But this blame is unjustly fastened on marriage and fruitfulness. Indeed, you are indicting your unbelief by distrusting God's goodness, and you are bringing greater misery upon yourself by disparaging God's blessing. For if you had trust in God's grace and promises, you would undoubtedly be supported. But because you do not help in the Lord, you will never prosper. Martin Luther, Sermons of Martin Luther, the 7 volumes. Those born to wealth, and who have the means of gratifying every wish, know not what is the real happiness of life, just as those who have been tossed on the stormy waters of the ocean on a few frail planks can alone realize the blessings of fair weather. Alexander Dumas, The Count of Monte Cristo. Money is only a tool. It will take you wherever you wish, but it will not replace you as the driver. Ayn Rand, Atlas Shrugged. Happiness is part of who we are. Joy is the feeling. Tony DeLisso, Legacy, The Power Within. For the rich old men start the wars, but it's the poor young men who portend them. If they didn't get old and rich, some excuse might have to be found to launch invasions. Bovard, Evergreens Are Prudish. 19. Wealth is the slave of a wise man. The master of a fool. Lucius Annaeus Seneca, Moral Essays, Volume I, De Providentia. De Constantia. De Ira. De Clementia. Chapter 3, Wealth Mantras. 1. I have perfect self-control in all situations. To everything in my life happens for a purpose and for my best benefit. 3. Every situation in my life that I perceive as negative is only a passing lesson and is actually positive. It is only my perception that makes it negative. It is only my unwillingness to release that allows the lesson to remain in my life rather than pass out of my life, as it was meant to. For every perceived problem is actually an opportunity. Find the opportunity. 5. Fear has no place in my life. 6. Every action I take leads me to happiness, prosperity and wealth. 7. I hereby surrender all problems and challenges into God's hands. 8. I am 100% invulnerable to other people's negative energy. 9. My thoughts create my reality, and I only create the best for me. 10. I recognize mistakes are positive and not negative. 11. I cast this burden of resentment on the Christ within and I go free to be loving, harmonious and happy. 12. I am the power, the master and the cause of my attitude, feelings, emotions and behavior. 13. I am powerful, whole and complete within myself. 14. I am powerful and centered at all times. 1. I allow nothing and no one to know me off balance or off center. 2. Timing is never an issue. I always receive what I want and need, at the exact time I am supposed to have it. 3. I choose to live in the present and not hold the past against myself. 4. I have perfect faith and trust in God, His angels and myself. All I want is coming to me, at the right time. There is no need for impatience. 5. My God is a God of plenty. He always takes care of me. Why would today be any different? 6. God's promises are built upon a rock. As I have asked, I must receive. 7. I only manifest the best in my life and for my life. Prosperity is always drawn to me. 8. I live a stress-free life. 9. I am a positive person. 10. I am a magnet for money. 11. Without any harm coming to me, I am free of all debt. 12. I willingly receive all prosperity into my life. I gratefully receive all prosperity into my life. 13. I am a magnet for insert, prosperity, success, happiness, love, passion, romance, money, wealth, luck, health, etc. 1. The law of abundance is always working in my favor and working for me. 2. I am constantly receiving happy surprises that I am thankful for. 3. I am constantly receiving money from known and unknown places. 4. I am a lucky to bem. 5. I am the luckiest person. 6. I have high self-esteem. I have a lot of self-confidence. Biha mantra. Shum is a Biha mantra. Aim, 7. To draw in wealth. 8. To draw in abundance. Bring about wealth. The Shum mantra is a Biha mantra. It is a primal sound which taps into the very core of the universe to function as a mantra all in itself. Every Biha mantra commonly corresponds to a singular god. This mantra corresponds to the goddess of wealth, Lakshmi. What happens? The Shum mantra essentially aligns your power/spirit/aura/prana with abundance according to the way you meditate. At the start, it will speed up the procedure of drawing in wealth that was already on its way to you, or is owed to you. All the same, once mantra siddhi is accomplished, it is stated that there are no bounds. How to utilize it? Simply repeat the word. The common target count is around 10,000 times, preferably in a single sitting. Afforded the brevity of the sound, it is not too hard to finish a set in about 2 to 3 hours. Use this in a quiet room with no distractions except perhaps some peaceful music. Sit comfortably and focus all your energy on the mantra. Chapter 4. What the famous have to say about abundance. What do they say? 1. When you focus on being a blessing, God makes sure that you are always blessed in abundance. Joel Osteen. 2. To live a pure unselfish life, one must count nothing as one's own in the midst of abundance. Buddha. 3. You pray in your distress and in your need, would that you might also pray in the fullness of your joy and in your days of abundance. Khalil Gibran. 4. The test of our progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much, it is whether we provide enough for those who have little. Franklin D. Roosevelt. 5. Doing what you love is the cornerstone of having abundance in your life. Wayne Dyer. 6. What is called genius is the abundance of life and health. 7. Henry David Thoreau. 8. Abundance is not something we acquire. It is something we tune into. Wayne Dyer. 9. Whatever we are waiting for, peace of mind, contentment, grace, the inner awareness of simple abundance, it will surely come to us, but only when we are ready to receive it with an open and grateful heart. Sarah Ban Breathnack. 1. Life in abundance comes only through great love. Elbert Hubbard. 2. Not what we have but what we enjoy, constitutes our abundance. Epicurus. 3. The harvest of old age is the recollection and abundance of blessing previously secured. Marcus Tullius Cicero. For your most precious, valued possessions and your greatest powers are invisible and intangible. No one can take them. You, and you alone, can give them. You will receive abundance for your giving. W. Clement Stone 5. Instead, I have an abundance mentality. When people are genuinely happy at the successes of others, the pie gets larger. Stephen Covey 6. I try to be grateful for the abundance of the blessings that I have, for the journey that I'm on, and to relish each day as a gift. James McGravy 7. Great abundance of riches cannot be gathered and kept by any man without sin. Desiderius Erasmus 1. Many a man curses the rain that falls upon his head, and knows not that it brings abundance to drive away the hunger. St. Basil 2. Today we have access to highly advanced technologies. But our social and economic system has not kept up with our technological capabilities that could easily create a world of abundance, free of servitude and debt. Jack Fresco 3. Abundance is a process of letting go. That which is empty can receive. Bryant H. McGill 4. Expect your every need to be met. Expect the answer to every problem. Expect abundance on every level. Eileen Caddy 5. Advertising is an environmental striptease for a world of abundance. Marshall McLuhan 6. What is marriage? Is marriage protection or religion? Is marriage renunciation or abundance? Is marriage a stepping stone or an end? What is marriage? Gertrude Stein 7. Talent is always conscious of its own abundance, and does not object to sharing. Alexander Solzhenitsyn 1. The world is full of abundance and opportunity, but far too many people come to the fountain of life with a sieve instead of a tank car, a teaspoon instead of a steam shovel. They expect little and as a result they get little. Ben Sweetland 2. We have almost succeeded in leveling all human activities to the common denominator of securing the necessities of life and providing for their abundance. Hannah Arendt 3. I noted that people are happy here in India. When I went back home, people had everything in the materialistic sense and were surrounded with abundance, but they were not happy. Goldie Hawn 4. Sarah Palin lacked the preparation or temperament to be one heartbeat away from the presidency, but what she possessed in abundance was the ability to inflame political passions and energize the John McCain campaign with star quality. Roger Ebert 5. I wish I had coined the phrase tyranny of choice, but someone beat me to it. The counterintuitive truth is that having abundance of options does not make you feel privileged and indulged. Too many options make you feel like all of them are wrong, and that you are wrong if you choose any of them. Susan Orlean 1. If God has given you the world's goods in abundance, it is to help you gain those of heaven and to be a good example of sound teaching to your sons, servants, and relatives. St. Ignatius 2. Thank God my parents had an abundance of patience. Lexa Doig 3. The older generation had greater respect for land than science. But we live in an age when science, more than soil, has become the provider of growth and abundance. Living just on the land creates loneliness in an age of globality. Shimon Peres Chapter 5, Conclusion. The best mantras for wealth are the ones in which an individual really believes. A few examples of mantras for wealth might include a few variation of, I'm a money magnet, prosperity is my divine right, or cash is all around me and, consequently, readily available as I need to use it. Wealth chants are occasionally committed to a religious deity, like those offered to Lakshmi, whom Hindu disciples believe to be the goddess of wealth and prosperity. Likewise referred to as fundamental wealth affirmations, mantras for wealth are not constantly necessarily related to a religious practice or establishment. Mantras for wealth are occasionally referred to as fundamental wealth affirmations or wealth chants. They've been respected throughout the ages by those who trust in affirmations as a way of producing wealth. Just as a few have relied on mantras for great health and chants to draw in an assortment of other life conditions, a lot trust that mantras for wealth are likewise useful in drawing in prosperity. In non-religious circles, the fundamental philosophy of mantras for wealth is that humans believe and, consequently, act on the thoughts and phrases to which they repeatedly hear. Mental beliefs and ideas are seen as potent creative mechanisms or as building blocks for an individual's reality. Mantras for wealth are, consequently, repeated in order to condition the brain to think that manifesting wealth is conceivable. For those who utilize them, wealth chants are seen as a way of programming or disciplining the brain for success. This mentality is likewise generally referred to as a prosperity consciousness. Motivational speakers and self-help experts likewise suggest mantras or favorable affirmations as a way of reconditioning the human brain. For instance, the art of autosuggestion, or self-hypnosis, first presented to the world by Dr. Emil Gu in 1920, operates on the same precepts as wealth mantras. Called positive self-talk, repeating a self-affirming phrase, like this one suggested by Chi, each day in each way, I'm getting better and better, as many times as 30 per day, is deemed a way of positively conditioning the brain for success. Get started changing your life today. If you enjoyed this book, you will be very interested in the following: Making Millions with a Simple Joke. Discover how this broke stand-up comic turned a simple joke formula into $1 million sales hook. Click here to watch this revealing video. Free Law of Attraction videos. Watch these free online videos and discover the revealing and surprising answers to your burning law of attraction questions. Click here to watch the free videos that answer your law of attraction questions. Make money giving this book away. Click here to discover how you may freely distribute or sell this ebook. freemakingbooks.com